All right, what is going on, guys? SteelTwins back at you with another video. The final week of the NFL regular season is finally here, even though it feels like yesterday the season just started. But here we are, the final week of the regular season. One more week before the playoffs hit, and man, is it a very important week for a lot of teams. There's a lot of playoff spots to be clinched. There's a lot of playoff spots still open. So this should be a very interesting video. This should be a very interesting week of football to see who clinches. Anything can happen in the NFL. Any given Sunday. This should be an interesting week. We want to welcome a special guest back to the channel. We thought it was fitting to have him on last for the weekly predictions, man. He is not only the guy that came up with the idea to bring on guests for the weekly predictions, but he is the winner of last year's giveaway for bringing guys on for the weekly predictions, in which he won, I believe it was a Donnie Shell signed jersey. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Jalen Thomson, welcome back. What's up, man?
Thank you. And you are correct. It was the Donnie Shell.
Yes.
It was the Donnie Shell jersey, yes.
Did you get that framed yet?
Not yet, because it's like very expensive and money.
No, I totally understand.
I have bills and stuff, yeah, so it's like...
Yeah. No, we totally get it. Framing is pretty expensive ourselves, so... But nonetheless, we have a Week 17 here, man. All Sunday games. We start off with an AFC East battle. We have the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills have just destroyed a fellow AFC East member and the Patriots on Monday Night Football. They are still fighting for the number 2 seed. Miami, I don't think has clinched a playoff spot, but I think it's almost guaranteed. But what's your prediction here?
I think no matter what Miami wins or loses, I think they already have a spot locked up. Because you have to, if the Browns lose, they kind of lock it up. Even if they do lose and then all the other teams that need to win, I don't think they even lose. If anything, I think they go down and play like the 6th or 7th seeds. So I think they're pretty much locked up anyway. That being said, the Bills are pretty much exploding on offense and defense. Honestly, the Bills are a very scary team. And since it is in Buffalo, I'm going to give it to the Bills only because I just don't think anyone's going to stop them, except for like the Chiefs. Because, I mean, you have to go through Kansas City to make it to the Super Bowl now. So I'm going to give it to Buffalo. I'm going to say close game. I'm going to say it's going to be a 24-17.
Okay. I'm going to have to go Buffalo as well. I think they will play their starters at least for a little bit just to secure that number 2 seed, which obviously is still up for grabs between them and the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I think Buffalo still secures it here. Miami, I think this will be a close battle. But like you said, I think Miami, no matter what, clinches a playoff spot. So let's give it to Buffalo, 21-17.
I'm actually going to go with Buffalo here on this one. I can see them sitting some of their starters, not all, obviously, but some. But I do think this will be highly defensive and highly competitive, considering Miami is fighting for a playoff spot. But I do think that no matter what, Miami will get in there. I'm going to say Buffalo wins 24-21.
Okay. Next game, we have the Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals have won 2 straight. They haven't done that since 2018, actually. Baltimore, if they win, they are in. Does it happen? What's your prediction?
I'm gonna say yes. I think Baltimore wins. The Bengals have been on a hot streak, but this is a division opponent that is just fighting for a playoff spot. They're pretty much been on fire. I mean, they blew up the Giants. They blew up the Jaguars. Would not surprise me if they come in here and blow up the Bengals. Now, I would not say that the Bengals won't give up a fight. They will definitely fight for it. But I kind of just see it being too much for the Bengals, especially without Joe Burrow. I mean, last time they played the Ravens, they got blown out, and they had Joe Burrow. So I'm gonna say that, without Joe Burrow, they're gonna get blown out. I'm gonna give the score 30-17 to the Ravens.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Baltimore as well. I think they secure a playoff spot. Let's go 35-20.
Well, the Bengals have looked good in the past 2 weeks, and I do think this will be competitive.
Yeah.
But I am going to go with Baltimore here. I think Baltimore will get the win here, 28-20. I do think this will be very competitive.
Okay. Next game, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. Jalen Thomson, you are, of course, a fellow Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Cleveland, if they win, they are in as well.
Yeah.
But the thing, Pittsburgh might be sitting their starters, which I would expect, I would recommend. We could be seeing Mason Rudolph get to start in Cleveland. And, man, would it be poetic justice for him to end Cleveland's playoff hopes after what happened last year. So what's your prediction here?
Just comes in, seeing all these, how everyone talks about how Darnold, the joke is him seeing ghosts. Well, it's to Mason Rudolph, it's him rewatching himself getting hit in the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Mason Rudolph, I would like to see Mason Rudolph more. Not more, obviously, but enough to where I think this could be a good potential to stand where we need to put him if he's really not a backup, because we know, he's got starting experience, but let's be real here. Him and Duck went 8-8 last year, but so it's not like, and partially I think that was more on Fiechner letting them throw the ball deep. I think if Fiechner's not calling the plays anymore, and Mason decides to do what Ben did this past week, maybe Mason throws one deep. I'd like to see it. That being said, pretty sure the Browns had the receiving core out last week with the COVID. I don't know if they're fully back or not. And do we have anyone coming back this week in terms of injuries, or no? Do we have
as far as I'm concerned, Robert Spillane, which will help against a strong Cleveland rushing
that's going to
offense.
be good, especially against when they have literally probably the best halfback duo in the entire league.
Indeed.
Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Any rushing, especially when our rushing defense has just been terrible this past, ever since he's been injured. I think if you look at it, we've let up so much rushing yards compared to when we started earlier in the season. So, that being said, I think our secondary is good enough to take care of their possibly, rested wide receiver core, and with our rushing defense getting slightly stronger back with the addition of Robert Spillane coming back, I trust Baker to throw a few picks, and I'm going to give it to Pittsburgh. I'm going to say in a very close game, 24-23.
Interesting. It would be the most Cleveland thing to just fail and not secure a playoff spot. First of all, they should have done it last week against the Jets after we beat India. All they had to do was beat the Jets, and they didn't.
No.
They have
Not only that, it'd be so amazing if the most Cleveland thing to do would be to do that and lose at their own home to a backup quarterback, to their division rival.
Yes.
And go 10-6.
Exactly. It would be.
Oh, let's not forget the last time they did go 10-6, they still missed the playoffs.
Right.
Now, they are in the playoff picture as of now. They hold, I can't remember what seed, but they're in it. And Indianapolis is trying to get back into it. So, all Cleveland needs to do is to win, but can they do it?
It would be the most Cleveland thing not to, and I think Cleveland strikes again. I got Pittsburgh, 24-18.
I'm going to go with the Steelers, whether it's backups or starters, whatever. I think it will be highly defensive. I think Pittsburgh will try their best to ruin Cleveland's hopes and dreams of getting into the playoffs. And I'm saying they win 20-17.
Okay. However, I will say Cleveland fans should not be too disappointed if they do miss the playoffs. Going 10-6 in Stefanski's first year and showing so much potential is all you could ask for.
Who knows? Maybe next year they actually do make the playoffs.
Maybe.
Especially with, they get the added game next season. So I don't know if that'll help or not, but anything's possible. And as one of your T-shirts that you sell does say, the Browns are the Browns. So
exactly. And you can bet I'm going to be sporting that come Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
But next game, we have Minnesota at Detroit. This game don't matter. Both teams are not making the playoffs.
That's for pride at this point.
It is. So what's your prediction here?
Even though it's a meaningless game, I will try to predict this somewhat reasonable. pretty sure Detroit's fighting for mostly like a better draft pick at this point. So I'm gonna say they lose because I feel like they're just gonna tank for that better top pick. And I feel like the Vikings are gonna try to come and get a win for mostly for pride, especially after you gave up 6 rushing touchdowns to Alvin Kamara. You're definitely gonna come and wanna. You're gonna wanna stop a run defense. That being said, I don't expect the Lions to run on them, and I don't expect the Lions to do much. Maybe they score. I'm going to really say maybe they get a garbage time touchdown, but I'm really going to say the score is going to be like 17-7 in the Vikings' favor.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Minnesota as well. I don't trust Detroit. Minnesota has weapons on offense to win this game. I don't know why I'm trying to analyze this game as if it matters, but I'll go Minnesota 31-21.
Short and sweet, Minnesota 30-17.
Another game that doesn't matter. We have the New York Jets, who have won 2 straight at the New England Patriots. What's your prediction here?
I'm going with the New York Jets as my first upset. I'm going mostly because I've talked to a lot of fans and a lot of people. I'm hearing words that Bill Belichick's not tanking because, he doesn't want to fit to tanking. But even if he loses out the rest of the season, gets a better top 10 draft pick, he's not going to lose his job. Think about it. He's arguably the best head coach of all time.
Yeah.
So even, if he has the one, not losing season, but essentially the one losing season, sure, it goes bad against his record. He's still going to be the head coach next year when it comes to it. He's just going to get a better quarterback or receiver or whatever they choose to do with this pick. And the Jets, this might be a win for pride. Hey, beat your division opponent that's beaten you for the past 30 years or something like that. Knock yourselves out. I don't know. So I'm gonna see the Jets. Do I think it's gonna be close? I kind of do. I think it's gonna be 28-24 affair with the Jets.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my prediction.
Okay.
And you know what? I agree with you. Because I remember last year when the Dolphins weren't really that good, they actually knocked off the Patriots in the last game of last year's season. They had a big upset against the Patriots who were going to the playoffs. And obviously the Patriots aren't going to the playoffs, but I can definitely see the Jets. I mean, they completely screwed up in the draft already. They pretty much given Trevor Lawrence to the Jaguars, so it's at this point, you know what? Take down the Patriots, and I can definitely see them doing it. So I am actually going to go with the Jets here. 23-20. Sorry, New England.
All right, so General's going with the Jets. You're going with the Jets. Let's go with the Jets.
All right.
Let's go with the Jets. Why not? Let's go with it. I was gonna say let's go with New England, but screw it. What I got to lose at this point? Let's go with the Jets. 23-17.
Yeah, I mean, New England's quarterback situation is not good, and I can't really see them doing well against a terrible Jets defense. I'm going to be honest. No, that's just me.
Yeah. But next game, we have an NFC East battle, which is incredibly important and could very well determine the possible winner of the NFC East. We have the Dallas Cowboys at the New York Giants. Side note, whoever wins this game is going to need Philadelphia to beat Washington on Sunday night. But what's your prediction here?
Dallas and New York. Battle for the NFC East. That'll potentially be knocked out first round by not even be knocked out, potentially be blown out in the first round of the playoffs. That's what this battle really is for. That being said, I do like the Giants out of recently. They look like they've been very dominant. I mean, their defense at least. Their offense, they got some things to work on. Obviously, Saquon's not playing because he was out with the injury week 2. That doesn't help. But they've made up for it. I mean, for the most part. I mean, everyone thought without Saquon they wouldn't be in this position. Then again, it's the NFC least. It's not hard to be in this position.
Mm-hmm.
It's the worst division in the entire NFL. So, you could go 3. I'm surprised no one's not going 5-11 and winning because you have to be 6 or 7 wins. That being said, Dallas, don't get me wrong, Dallas, they have a good rushing attack with Zeke. I do like that. Andy Andy Dalton, he's still a decent quarterback for what it's worth. So yeah, I'm not, he can definitely get the job done. Um, and Amari Cooper still, the Dallas offense is still good. It's not as potent as it could be, and I think that's just something they need to work with the new coaching staff and all that. But the Dallas offense and stuff is still potent enough to where it can destroy people and still win. So I don't think anyone should be really worried. That thing is, I can't really make a decision, so I'm gonna just go with the home team, which is the Giants, and I'm just gonna say they win by a touchdown. I'm gonna say 14-7.
Okay. See, this could go either way,
Yeah.
but
Especially with the division on the line.
I gotta go Dallas. Normally when these games go down, Dallas is usually the favorite. I think that's going to remain the case, especially with how much potential they showed last week. Dallas did with their receiving core. New York has a pretty decent secondary with Julian Love and Jabril Peppers and, of course, James Bradbury. So they could come out with a victory.
Logan Ryan.
That too, Logan Ryan, definitely they extended him. So, I mean, they got a secondary to slow down this receiving attack. But I still got to go Dallas. I just like their odds a little more. Let's go Dallas. 27-20.
See, Dallas has looked good in the past couple games. The Giants have looked good in a couple games. In the end, I'm just going to go Dallas. Because when it comes to this rivalry, Dallas usually, tends to win out. So I do think this game will be highly competitive, very close. I'm going to say 31-24 Dallas.
Okay, but nonetheless, it should be interesting. Either way, like we said, whoever wins this game needs Washington to lose
Yes.
to Philadelphia come Sunday night. But next game, we have the Atlanta Falcons at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. These two faced off a few weeks back. I think it was actually the other week, and Atlanta, like always, choked.
Mm-hmm.
So Tampa Bay has already secured a playoff spot. They could be fighting for a higher seed, so we could be seeing a little bit of Tom Brady. But what's your prediction here?
I believe Tampa Bay is the 5th seed already, if I'm not mistaken. Which, I mean, all it does, it means you play the 4th. All it means is you're going to end up playing whoever wins the NFC East. So, and the fact that they've blown out the Lions, on Saturday. Oh, good golly! I can only imagine what they're going to do to whoever wins that division. I don't know. This being said, I don't know who's the other. That being said, I don't know who's the other wild card spot. I think it's the Rams, and I think they're at least 2 wins away. So I'm pretty sure they already have the 5th seed locked up.
Right.
They could potentially just rest their starters. I mean, I don't know who the backup is for the. It would be nice to maybe see him. I like to see they'll maybe start a few backups. I don't know. Maybe they give more reps to AB to see what his potential is.
Right.
Because I don't know why not. Maybe you use him and you can trade him for someone. I don't know. I mean, who wants to have that crazy locker room guy in there? Yeah. So that being said, I'm still gonna choose the Buccaneers, even backups or not. Atlanta, they'll probably end up putting up 21 points and then choking it away like they always do. It wouldn't surprise me. This entire year, Atlanta has choked. I don't know how many leads. That they could have easily have won, and then have gone and Atlanta could. I don't know what their record is, but they're easily they've choked away 4 or 5 games where those could have been wins, and they could be not a playoff team, but on the borderline of a playoff team. That being said, I think they do choke it again. I'm going to go with the Bucs, 27-26.
Yeah, I have to agree with going with Tampa. I believe their backup is Blaine Gabbert. I believe they still have him.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, nonetheless, we could see a little bit of Tom Brady. We could be seeing Blaine Gabbert. It don't matter. You can't trust Atlanta. I know they kept it close with Kansas City last week, but...
And they still blew it. Couldn't even make a 39-yard field goal.
No, with
No,
the
yeah.
most accurate kicker this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got to go Tampa, I guess. Let's go Tampa Bay, 26-24.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obvious. Tampa Bay, 34-20. I don't think it's even close.
Right. All right, now we have an NFC North battle. We have the Green Bay Packers, who are still fighting for the number 1 seed and could clinch with a victory, I believe. They face the Chicago Bears in a classic rivalry matchup. The Bears, surprisingly, have scored 30-plus points in the last 4 games. I don't know how. Trubisky's actually not looking bad. David Montgomery is showing incredible potential for next year.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Matt Nagy just simply stopped calling plays for the offense, and there you go.
Yeah, so I believe if Chicago wins, they clinch a playoff spot. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think you're correct because they beat the Jags last week.
Right.
And now they need to win this game to officially get in.
Right.
Can they do it?
Yep.
Let's talk about it. So, what is your prediction?
I'm pretty sure the last time these two faced off, the Packers blew out the Bears. Then again, that could be also the fact Pat Nagy was, was calling plays, or not Pat Nagy, but he was calling plays. That being said, maybe Mitch Trubisky is doing something. I mean, honestly, it would be very ironic. Mitch Trubisky's playing. He somehow goes down with an ankle injury. In the third quarter, Nick Foles comes in and leads them to the playoffs. Honestly, that'd be interesting. That would be kind of the Nick Foles turn of how he's pretty much done his. I mean, he won the Super Bowl doing that. Essentially, he brought the Eagles back to the playoffs off of that. Obviously, if it wasn't for him starting in Jacksonville, who knows what would have happened there? Probably the same thing. So who knows? I mean, maybe it's a little luck. I don't know.
It's the big dick Nick charm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I guess you know what, he gets backup powers or something. All right, he just thrives with backups. I don't know, man. It'd be like that. That being said, me looking at it, I'm gonna give it to the Packers. That's the realistic thing here, because I mean they're fighting essentially. This is gonna be potentially the way. Oh yeah, let's knock out our division opponent from the playoffs, as well as gaining the number 1 seed and getting a bye week.
Yep.
What better way to do it?
2 birds with 1 stone.
Than obviously doing that. Yeah, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. It's the dual threat. I won't say the Bears won't go down to fight. I think they're going to fight their hardest. I mean, potentially to go make the playoffs. I potentially think that would be the greatest thing they could actually end up doing. That being said, I'm going to give it to the Packers 30-28. I think they score last second field goal and they win the game.
Interesting. I gotta go Green Bay as well. I just can't trust Chicago. I know they've showed incredible actually, incredible potential on offense the last few weeks, but I don't know. I just can't trust them against Green Bay. I can't trust them with the playoff spot on the line. I don't know if I can even trust Matt Nagy. So I got to go Green Bay. Obviously, Green Bay is fighting for the number 1 seed. A-Rod's playing out of his mind right now. In my opinion, he's MVP. Him and Adams are incredible, unmatched. Just they make everything look so easy. Mm-hmm. A-Rod has made a backup tight end in Robert Tonyan a double-digit touchdown monster this year. He doesn't have a realistic number 2, but he still gets guys involved. This dude is MVP. And I think he's going to show it and almost seal it by clinching the number 1 seed in the NFC with the Green Bay Packers, winning 28-25.
I'm going to go Green Bay here. This is definitely going to be, without a doubt, a hell of a game. It's a classic rivalry, one of the best rivalries in today's game and in NFL history. I do think Green Bay is definitely going to want it more. They're going to try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Chicago is definitely, without a doubt, going to fight their ass off to get this because they want it.
Especially that defense.
Yes, but in the end, I do think Green Bay will get the win. I'm going to say 33-30.
Should be interesting, though. This is one game I'm looking forward to. Next game, we have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Denver Broncos. Another meaningless game. What happened to the Raiders? They were 6-3. They look like a possible playoff team. and now they are 7-8. They choked the game last week against the Dolphins
with 19 seconds left. And the only win they got was because Greg Williams of the Jets was a moron.
Wow.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened? So
I'll tell you what happened. They played the Falcons. That's what happened. They lost to the Falcons, was ruined their momentum, and then they almost lost to the Jets.
Yeah.
You play two bad teams, you lose and you almost lose to them. It's gonna ruin your momentum, and it's gonna ruin the way. Then you lose to a division rival in terms of the Chargers, which, don't get me wrong, the Chargers look like they'll be a rising threat in the next upcoming years, especially with Herbert. So, that really alters your momentum. Now you're going against the Broncos team. This game's kind of meaningless. Could either or, doesn't matter. It's really just a flip of a coin, to be honest. Do I think, honestly, if I'm being smart, I'm just going to rest, both teams should just rest their starters, put in whoever, and, because it's not like it means, if anything, it's just draft picks. And I think, they're not like, I don't think either of them are both top 10 picks anyway, so. That being said, it's in Denver, so I'm going to give it to home field advantage. Mile High is always a hard place to play, even if you're a division rival. So I'm going to give it to the Broncos. I'm going to say it's 17-14.
Okay. This is just a coin toss for me. Let's go with the Raiders, I guess. Maybe they close out .500 against Denver.
You just don't know.
Well, the game doesn't matter. It's more of a coin toss.
Yeah.
I can totally see Denver winning this. I can see Vegas going below .500 after starting 6-3, but I'll give it to Gruden. Let's go Vegas, 34-31.
I'm actually going to go with Denver here to get the win. I really can't trust the Raiders as of right now, or probably even next year, because I really don't know what to expect from them. They look like a very talented, good team, and then they just fell off the radar.
Right.
They fell flat on their face. And quite frankly, they deserve it. And I think Denver's going to get the win here. I'm going to say 26-21.
So you go Denver?
Yep.
Okay. It could go either way, but it's more of a coin toss for me. But one game that won't be a coin toss and will be a pretty guaranteed victory is Jacksonville at Indianapolis. Jacksonville has indeed clinched the number 1 seed. Trevor Lawrence, good luck to you, sir, in Jacksonville. Indianapolis, they need a victory to have a chance to clinch the AFC South. Tennessee, I believe, is first. Now, they are tied, but technically Tennessee is first.
They both have the same record, yeah. They have technically Tennessee's first, but they both have the same record. So, that being said, obviously the Colts need it. The funny thing would be if the Jags just put out all their starters to try to win the game.
Yeah,
they already have to clinch their first overall draft pick, so what better way to be to knock your division rival out of the playoffs? And that would be a wrong. It's like, all right, we already have the first overall draft pick. Let's knock these guys out of the playoffs, and they already beat them week 1.
Yes,
so
they did.
They don't beat them again. That'd be kind of funny. They beat them, they sweep them, and they end up causing them to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, right.
No, but I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna go with the Colts. The realistic thing is to go with the Colts, especially with a game that means so much. The funny thing would be for the Jags to win, but I'm gonna go with the Colts. I'm gonna say they win 28-21.
Yeah, I'll go Indianapolis. Let's go 33-10. However, it would be incredibly hilarious if they got swept by Jacksonville and still missed the playoffs.
Yeah, and Jacksonville just to go into the draft and get their franchise quarterback. Imagine that.
Jacksonville, like you said, they've already clinched the number 1 seed, so go on out and go out hot, go out fighting. Why not?
And screw your rival over. But
not only that, the funny thing is that everyone's comparing. A lot of the analysts are comparing Trevor Lawrence to be the next Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning wins the Colts.
Yeah, imagine that.
But yeah, seriously, in the end, I think Indianapolis is going to get the win, 32-18.
Yeah. Next game, we have the Los Angeles Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs have already clinched number 1 seed, thus they are sitting most of their starters, Patrick Mahomes included. What's your prediction here?
I'm going to say the Chargers. I think this is another upset. The Chiefs already have resting most of the starters. I think that the Chargers, they're going to want to get a win, just so they can boost their morale. Maybe use it as a way to boost their way up to maybe getting a win next year, and working towards a playoff push again. That's really about it. I mean, the Chiefs already clinched the number 1 seed. They pretty much clinched everything they needed to. Resting your starters an extra week is, good help. It helps rest up, the key players you need. And that's why I'm going to say the Chargers. I'm going to say they win. I'm going to say they win 28-14.
Okay. I believe Matt Moore is still the Kansas City backup. I'm actually going to go Kansas City here. If I'm the Chargers, I just lose this game. I fire Anthony Lynn as soon as the game's over. And I would pretty much try to get a higher pick to go get a lineman to protect Trevor Lawrence. Or Lawrence, Justin Herbert, excuse me. I looked at Jacksonville and thought Trevor Lawrence. Excuse me. Go get a lineman to protect Justin Herbert. So I got Kansas City 26-21.
Yeah, I think I can't really trust the Chargers in the end. I really can't.
Never.
Even against backups, I'm sorry. And it would be an Anthony Lynn type of thing to lose to backups and give Kansas City a 15-1 record. So, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think Kansas City's going to win. I'm going to say 28-24. I do think this will be competitive.
Right. Next game, which will also be competitive, is Arizona at Los Angeles. Los Angeles pretty much, they haven't clinched a playoff spot yet, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they're going to be in the playoffs. Arizona's still fighting to be in the playoffs. I believe they are currently in the hunt. They need Chicago to lose, and they need to beat Los Angeles to get the number 7th seed, I believe. Jared Goff is hurt. He did injure his thumb. We could be seeing, I have no idea who.
Yeah, actually, it was actually reported by Schefter that Rams backup quarterback John Holford will start in this game. And another thing is that Kyler Murray...
Well, considering...
Go on ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, considering that we have no idea who that quarterback is, that should say a lot.
What's his name again?
John Holford, and apparently Kyler Murray also has a lower leg injury, and the Cardinals' backup is Chris Streveler.
Who?
I don't know.
Battle of the backups, all right? Battle of the backups.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, my God.
That's what it could come.
Battle of the backups.
That's what it could come down to.
Which, I mean, I'm looking over it. I mean, Rams and the Cardinals, I think last time they had a very good game. It's going to be a tough. If Kyler Murray ends up playing, I'm going to give it to the Cardinals. If it is the backups, I might have to go to the Rams. I trust the Rams defense more than I trust the Cardinals defense. I kind of trust the Rams a little bit more outside of like Jared Goff, than I do more than the Cardinals, which is surprising considering the Cardinals have D-Hop, Larry Legend, and Kyler Murray on their team. That being said, I do think it's going to be like, I feel like it's going to come down to a point. I think it's going to come down to a last second field goal, and I'm going to just, if it's no matter whether it be the Cardinals or the Rams, I think the score is going to be 27-26, so the last second field goal.
Okay. I'm going to go Arizona. I think they just make it into the playoffs. Now, I don't think they go far if they do indeed make it, but I think it'd be good for Arizona to get back into the playoffs and give them some signs of hope for the future, knowing they are an incredibly young team. And Cliff Kingsbury getting his team to the playoffs in his second year would be very solid for a young resume.
Yeah, definitely speak volumes about him as well.
So I'm going to go Arizona, 27-20.
Yeah, I'm going to go Arizona here. I mean, considering we don't know who the hell the Rams' backup quarterback is, and apparently he's never thrown an NFL pass in his life.
Oh, my God.
So this is definitely going to be a lot of weight on his shoulders to try to make sure the Rams at least remain in the playoffs. I don't think he's really going to do well, considering we don't know who he is. Who knows? We really don't know. But in the end, I'm going to go with Arizona 27-17.
Okay. Next game, we have Seattle at San Francisco. This is another NFC West battle. San Francisco might as well just You know, they're already out of playoff contention, obviously. Seattle's still fighting for the number 1 seed. I think they need Green Bay and the Saints to lose for them to get number 1 seed, so they have something to fight for.
Yeah.
But what's your prediction here?
This is a tough. No, it's not a tough one. I'm just gonna give it to Seattle. Do I think the Niners will play? Oh, of course, I think they're gonna fight. This is the division. This is like one of the most hardest division rivals they've ever had. I mean, the Niners and Seahawks have, they fought each other hard. They have very tough and fun games to watch. That being said, I still think Seattle's gonna win. They overall have the better team. And I mean, the thing last year, whoever won the division last year came down to that one play, which I know, Dan, you remember that game very well.
Yeah, Dan.
That last play.
Yes, I do. Shout out to Josh K. I needed Jacob Hollister to get into the end zone. I needed 1 inch for me to win my fantasy matchup against Josh K. Instead, that motherfucker named Dre Greenlaw stopped him 1 inch short, and he won.
Yeah,
I'm still salty.
So yeah, this is that. Not saying that a play like that's going to happen, but this is a type of game where even if this week 17. These weeks are this last week is have all these types of games like that are like this. That being said, I'm still going to go Seattle. I think it's going to be 27-24, and yeah, that's my prediction.
Yeah, I gotta go Seattle as well. They got a little something to fight for. I don't think they get the number 1 seed, but I got Seattle. Let's go 20-13.
Yeah, I'm going to go Seattle 26-23. Definitely a competitive matchup, but Seattle gets the victory.
Right. New Orleans at Carolina's next matchup. New Orleans is fighting for the number 1 seed as well. A team that most likely, I don't want to say most likely, because Chicago could very well get the quote-unquote upset against Green Bay, but they're still fighting for the number 1 seed. So what's your prediction here?
I mean, Panthers, they're kind of down and out themselves. I'm pretty sure they're looking for a top 10 pick. If I'm them, I'm losing.
Oh,
It's,
yeah. They might as well get a top 5 pick
That's
and
it.
get your future quarterback.
Honestly, you lose. You pretty much get, Trey Lance. That he's a good name. I don't think they'll get Fields. I think Fields is going to go to. Actually, I don't know where Fields will go because he's not going to New York. And I'm trying to think of all the other teams that need quarterbacks that are in the
Fields.
I mean, there's still a lot of teams that need quarterbacks if you really think about it.
Right.
And I think Fields is going to go at least top 5.
Don't forget Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson could very well go before Fields.
That is true. I mean, there's so many. This is a good quarterback draft class. I mean, this is not like the quarterback draft class of Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield, and even though that isn't it's not the best draft class, unlike the one where our quarterback came from, but
yeah,
that was still a good draft class. I don't know if this will be necessarily as great. I mean, you have potentially a great prospect with Trevor Lawrence, so that's going to be looked on upon for that. Maybe you get Justin Fields, goes off and has a decent career himself. Maybe same thing with Trey Lance. It depends on where they go and what they offer and how those teams build around them.
Absolutely.
That being said, if I'm the Panthers, I'm not tanking, but yeah, I'm essentially pulling all my starters. I'm taking. If I'm the Saints, if the Panthers do that, maybe you take out Kamara and Drew Brees and Michael Thomas. Maybe let Jameis Winston. Actually, no, not Jameis Winston. Let Taysom to say. I don't know if you want Jameis Winston going there. He'll probably throw 3 touchdowns and 3 picks. It won't be a good fun time for Saints fans, especially if they lose that game. Because that's essentially if they lose that, Seattle wins, and potentially that could lead to them losing that 2nd seed. That being said, I think the Saints win. Not in a blowout. I think there's going to be some points scored, but I think they're going to win 28-10.
Okay. I would have to agree. I think it's a blowout. I got New Orleans. I got 37-19. New Orleans gets the victory. I will say the Saints need to limit Alvin Kamara if they are indeed going to play him. He is incredibly important. I feel like he is the most important player on that Saints roster. He got an NFL record tying 6 touchdowns. He actually should have had 7, but they decided to give it to Taysom Hill at the 1-yard line when they haven't been able to stop Kamara all game. But nonetheless, Kamara had 6 touchdowns last week against Minnesota on Christmas Day. You limit that man as much as possible. I don't give a damn if you depend on him for your fantasy matchup. You have to limit Kamara in this game.
Yeah.
Because that man is so important to the Saints' success in the playoffs.
He pretty much is the Saints' offense in general.
Dude, he's going to need back surgery at this point.
He's carrying that team.
Because without, I mean, they once Michael Thomas got injured, it was literally, oh yeah, just do screens and dump passes to screens and dumps and Texas routes, all to Alvin Kamara, handoffs, and the dude. I mean, obviously they had Murray in the backfield, but it's not like it matters. You saw what happened. The proof is in the pudding. All right,
yeah.
Let's just say that.
Right. But next game, we have Tennessee at Houston.
Oh, I didn't even make my selection.
I was about to say, did you make your selection yet?
New Orleans, 34-23. Now the next game, Tennessee at Houston.
Yeah, Houston is just awful. They just lost to the Bengals.
Yeah, J.J. Watt literally unleashed his passion out to all of media, really.
I would say Houston just lose this game and get a higher pick. But here's the problem. You have
They
no
don't
pick.
have the first round pick.
Exactly.
It's the Dolphins' first round pick. Yeah.
Yeah, that number 3 pick is
I have
with
a friend who's
Miami.
a Dolphins fan. He's ecstatic. Their team is making the Dolphins are pretty much making the playoffs, and he's going to get a top 5 pick with that.
Dude, that's insane.
I don't know what you. I want to say the Dolphins fleeced the Texans. They didn't fleece the Texans. They fleeced Bill O'Brien. That man gone now. I don't think he'll ever play a game again. I don't think he'll ever see. Honestly,
No.
I don't even think he'll see a high school field. All right.
Hell no. After what he did, come on. He ruined that team. The only good thing he ever did in Houston was extending Deshaun Watson. At that point, we all feel incredibly sad for that man, knowing he is in a horrible
I'm
organization.
with the people out there. Hashtag for free Deshaun. All right. Yeah. Hashtag free Deshaun. Yeah. Yeah. No, that hurts. That hurts to know.
That poor soul.
Mm-hmm.
That poor soul.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded. I wouldn't.
Isn't it the J.J. Watt from last year in Houston?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's.
I mean, obviously, I heard rumors that just the way about how he exploded, there's a very high possibility he won't be on the Texans next year. Now, I don't know if that means he'll retire. I think he still has a left of the career.
Yeah.
Not saying he should come to Pittsburgh, but I think that might happen. He might take a little. He might take up a little bit pay. Give up pay, give up a little bit pay to go play with his brothers for at least 2-3 years.
I would love that.
Honestly, that would be very wholesome and very heartwarming.
But,
not only just as a Steelers fan, as a football fan in general.
Yeah. But honestly, if I'm the Texans,
our salary cap's going to be terrible if that happens. But I mean,
yeah. Plus, he doesn't.
I'm also thinking, what would we do with Tua? Put Tua as like D tackle or something, because we already have a left end, we already have a good right end, we kind of already have a good D line. I mean,
yeah, I was going to say because
what are we going to do? Switch to a 4-3? Like, even then, I mean, I don't know. It's not. You don't just switch up your entire defense. Just for one player.
Exactly.
As much as as good as that player is. I mean, if a player is willing to switch into a position like D tackle, by all means, I'm open arms for it. But I don't know.
My thoughts exactly. He doesn't fit the system, and you can't put Tua to D tackle. That's limiting him.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm the Texans, I'm trading J.J. Watt for a first-round pick. I know he's old. I know he's injury-prone. But there's got to be some pass rush needy team.
There's someone out there that's going to take him for a first round pick.
Yes. Just one. Texans need it. Deshaun Watson needs it. Free JJ.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it. But we have Tennessee at Houston. This is no-brainer.
That being said, I can see Houston's obviously going to go out with a fight because they don't want to give the Dolphins any more a pick. I still think that Tennessee's going to win because they're going to want to win their division. They're going to want to at least get that 4 seed. That way they get a guaranteed home game. They'll probably end up playing Miami most likely. Unless Baltimore. Actually, they might play Baltimore. I don't know yet. I actually have to go look at the official standings and playoff records and things like that. But
Right.
they want that playoff game. At least that one guaranteed home game. That being said, close game again. I'm going to say it's going to be 20-24 Titans.
I agree. I think this is going to be close. I have to go with Tennessee. I think they will win the AFC South with a victory here. So let's go Tennessee, 29-24.
After an embarrassing performance that Tennessee sustained, you know they're going to be frustrated and want to try to clinch that division. And especially against a team like Houston that has been completely terrible all year around. Tennessee's definitely going to win here. But Houston, and I mean Deshaun Watson, is going to fight his ass off to at least try to knock them off their pedestal.
Right.
But I think in the end, Tennessee's still going to win 31-28.
Right. I mean, did you see? I mean, just feed Henry. That Houston defense is horrible.
Yeah.
So just feed Henry. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
Now, the last game of the 2020 NFL regular season, and it will determine the victor, the winner of the worst division in football history, the NFC East. We have the Washington football team at the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, the victor of Dallas in New York later in the day will need Philadelphia to beat Washington to win the division. If Washington wins, they win the division. What's your prediction here?
Honestly, I think it comes down to two things. I think it comes down to really one key matchup, to be honest. It comes down to Jalen Hurts versus the Washington front seven.
Mhm.
All right. Or more like Jalen Hurts and his own line up to the Washington. Because I have trust that with, if the O-line can protect Jalen Hurts, he'll be able to do what he needs to win the game. To all the receivers and to all his weapons, he'll be able to get them all out, win the game. And I don't know who's starting quarterback for Washington now after they just cut Haskins.
I believe it's some guy named
Alex Smith is
Taylor Heineck.
Yeah, he was an XFL superstar, actually.
That's what I'm saying. You have no idea. I mean, obviously, besides the fact he was in the XFL, so he's got he's got football experience. We'll say that.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's not NFL, but it's football. But that being said, you literally, other than today, you had no idea who this person was. Now you have to expect them to carry them to the playoffs and win a game.
Yep.
That being said, I'm going to go with Philadelphia here. I think they actually do win this game. I honestly think, not that it's a heartbreaking game, but I think they scored the last second points. I think they win it. I'm going to say they win it 30-27.
So earlier in the vid, you had New York winning, correct?
Yes.
So by your predictions here today, you think the Giants are going to win the NFC East to make the playoffs?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. The crazy thing about this division, it could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone but the Eagles can win this.
And it lies in the palm of the Philadelphia Eagles' hand. They get to decide who wins that division.
Who wins that division. And it's not even themselves. That's the worst part.
I know. It's hilarious.
It's like, I don't get to win the division, but I get to choose if, who wins the division. Interesting.
Exactly. It's hilarious. But if Alex Smith does not play, which I honestly don't think he will, stuff could change within the week.
Injured.
He is injured.
Yeah.
So if Alex Smith plays, I think Washington wins. If he doesn't, I think Philadelphia wins. So I'm going to go Philadelphia, 23-20. And by my prediction earlier, the Dallas Cowboys win the NFC East to make the playoffs.
I think D. Carey is going to be extremely excited with the fact you just said that.
Huge shout out to D. Carey, Cowboys fan.
D. Carey, I'm sorry. I'm going with the football team to win that division. They are still first place, and I think no matter what, Philly's going to screw it up, and the Washington football team's going to get the win.
How about it? General has the Giants winning. I have the Cowboys winning. Rob here has the football team winning. Hey, it could go either way.
Yes, it can.
It'll be a very interesting Sunday.
In this division, in this week 17, the way this is going, I would not expect anything other than the way this goes.
Hey, it's the weirdest way to end the regular season, but it's going to be so interesting to watch. Although it is the worst division in football
and
today.
I think no matter who makes it, they're going to get blown out in the playoffs.
Yeah, so
anyway.
it doesn't really matter. Good for you. You made the playoffs.
Yeah, but Washington football team 24-20 for me.
Okay, so that is our Week 17 predictions. The regular season is pretty much at a finish, and we have the playoffs coming here. Should be a very interesting week for the NFC East and other playoff teams and playoff clinching scenarios, so it should be fun as hell, man. Give us you guys' predictions and stuff down below. And I want to give a huge thank you to General Thomson for his time and his patience and his predictions and joining us for the predictions once again this year, man. Good luck to you winning the Minka Fitzpatrick signed jersey at the end of the year. Once the winner of that will be announced in the live stream after the Super Bowl. A huge shout out to all those that joined us this year, and good luck to you guys as well for the Minka Fitzpatrick giveaway, man. Thanks a lot. It was great talking football with you guys all year. Can't wait to announce the winner. Good luck to all yins. And here we go. The regular season is pretty much over, and we have the playoffs coming out, man. So, General Thompson, thanks a lot again, man. Huge shout out to you. You're more welcome to join us in the peace outro. So, Rob, whenever you're ready, man.
Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you later. Peace!